I recently wrote an article about breastfeeding in public, and a woman named Helga chose to comment. Helga's comment is not unusual. She represents a whole swath of people's feelings about breastfeeding in public. Here's what Helga says. I am all for breastfeeding our babies, but I would never in a million years whip my boob out in public. You know, I'd really like to see a woman whip her boob out sometime. It's unnatural and not fair to others. I would not want my kids to have to stare at someone's boobs while we are having lunch or dinner. You feel comfortable having your boobs out? Well, guess what? I am not comfortable with having to look at it. I'm gonna help the Helgas of the world out with some mind-blowing information. So I'm standing about 3 feet from this camera and I can see my boobs plain as day, right there. Annie's boobs. Let's say I decide that I don't want to look at my boobs. I'm gonna blow your mind, Helga. Are you ready? Looking at my boobs? Can't see my boobs. Looking at my boobs? Can't see my boobs. Boobs, no boobs. Boobs, no boobs. It's so simple. And I don't even have to go that direction. I can go the other direction. Boobs, no boobs. I don't even have to move my head. And I can go up, boobs, no boobs. Or I can go down, boobs, no boobs. I mean, I literally cannot see any boobs in my line of vision right now, not even peripherally. Isn't that amazing? If you don't want to see somebody breastfeeding in public, you don't have to. Unless someone is physically holding you down and breastfeeding like inches from your face, then you never have to watch somebody breastfeed ever. You are never forced to watch somebody breastfeed. You're not forced to stare at them. You don't have to stare. You don't even have to look briefly. And let's say, just for the sake of argument, that someone was holding you down and breastfeeding inches from your face. We have this other ability that makes it so that you don't even have to watch that. I'm strapped down, boob inches from my face. Watch this. I'm looking at the boob, can't see it. Looking at the boob, can't see it. We have these built-in blinders, you see? You don't ever have to watch someone breastfeed, ever. I know what you're thinking. If people can just look away, what's to stop people from peeing and pooping and having sex in public? Feeding a baby and eliminating human waste are two completely different things. The act of making a baby and the act of feeding a baby, also two completely different things. Apples and oranges, sister. What's more reasonable? To expect a woman who has a squirmy, hungry baby to try to get that baby latched on and stay latched on while also simultaneously holding a cover over its head. What if the baby hates the cover? And one of my babies hated the cover. He would pull it off every time. Or is it more reasonable to expect the people in the vicinity of a hungry baby to simply move their eyeballs a half an inch in their sockets so that they don't have to see it? I've been in both of those pairs of shoes, and moving my eyeballs in their sockets is like 1,000 times easier than feeding a baby. One final note, Helga, about children. You said you don't want your children to see a woman breastfeeding in public. Well, I do. I actually want my children to see what breasts are primarily designed for and to see them being used in that way without hiding it away as if it's something to be ashamed of. I want my children to be so used to seeing women breastfeeding in public that when they see it, all they think is, oh, that mom is feeding a baby, and then they move on with their lives. The reason that your children feel the need to stare at a woman while she's feeding her baby is because you have not taught them otherwise. So mamas, please, please, cover up if you feel more comfortable that way, but do not let the Helgas of the world, who do not seem to understand how their eyeballs work, stop you from feeding your baby whenever and wherever you are. It is just feeding a baby. It's just a baby eating. That's all it is. And if people really don't want to see it, they don't have to.